Hello everyone, welcome back to Old Dad's Modeling Mess. And today's video is kind of another almost tutorial type of thing, I guess, if you want to put it that way. But I don't know about you guys, but when I build my models and stuff, I have lots of leftover photo etch parts and stuff. I mean, you know, this is from, let's see here, what's that? Ryefield T3485, sprue left over from a Stug 3 Panther stuff, you know, because I'm not messing with the bolt heads, not for now anyway, not on that kit. But anyway, I don't throw this stuff away. And as you know, in my video last week, I was talking about how I am starting on my most complex, build yet, and it's a diorama. And as you can see, I got a little bit of work done here. You see me cut out the cobblestone and stuff like that, and I had mentioned about having like a stone fence here going across here, and maybe having a house or a barn back here and a tree over there. Well, as I was working on the barn, because I really wanted to do the barn, I realized it was just too big for what I was doing, because this is only 12 by 12. Okay, so yeah, it was, the barn was too big. So I decided to do a little portion of a shed, like a quarter of a shed, as you can see. Boom, quarter. So while I was working on that, I was trying to figure out how I wanted to do the door. So I started messing around, and I made myself some homemade hinges. And I'm going to show you how I made these today. And this here's just a quick one here that you can do. This one is really simple, takes like maybe 3 or 4 minutes. And then we'll get into a more complex version that I made for this. And yes, there's a window and a door and my hinges, and turn that and poof, the door opens up. Okay, and if you look really close, I mean, they're nothing super special, but they work. And for what it's worth, I'll show you how to make those as well. So first we'll start off with the easy ones here, okay? And this here is just leftover pieces of sprue, as you can see from photo etch. It's still actually, you can see some of the writing on it there. So, you know, don't throw that stuff away. It's a little gold mine for this sort of stuff. But I already have a couple pieces cut off over here, off to the side here. And for this, I just take my needle nose and I'll put me a little bend right about there. And then the secret ingredient here is to use a little sewing needle that's got the head on it. I don't know how well you guys can see that or not, but it's just a little sewing needle. And what you want to do is you just want to, if I can get my hands on it here, kind of want to bend that sprue over that just a little bit. Once you get it going, take your pliers, give it a nice little nudge, and then you can take your thumbnail and you can push it down and around. And the way that I check this stuff is I'll take it like this, I'll give it the spin test. Okay, it's on there. Cool. You can see that it's not tightened or anything like that. It's still loose and all that. So what I do then is I will take my little needle nose. And since this isn't a fancy hinge or anything like that, I will take my needle nose and I will do that. I'll give it a good squeeze. And that there allows you to end up with that. Let's see, there we go. So now you have hinge piece number 1. Not going to fall off unless you take it down or pull it off of there. So now all you got to do is do the same thing to another one. Grab it, take your other piece here, get you a little bend, and if you notice that there's a little bit of a corner sticking up there, it's because the needle nose have that point, so I'm trying to keep that bend straight, or as straight as I can. And you kind of want to do it almost in a shape of a J, I guess, if you want to do it that way, like that, you know. That way there, your little needle here, if I can get a hold of it now without stabbing myself, that would be nice. Okay. Aid of the needle nose. Okay, there we go. Slip that in there, like I said before. Take your thumbnail, squish it down and around. Do the spin test. Spins. Okay. Now all we gotta do is crimp that around there. Still a little bit loose, so I'm gonna come at it from the other side just to make sure that I can get it as tight as I possibly can around that little needle. There's that. Now you take your other one and you put it on here. There we go. You got a set of hinges. Now you take your little needle nose, snip that off. Make sure you don't throw that or drop that on the floor, because stepping on that would not feel good. And as you see, now you have a set of hinges. Oof. And they work really well. Now, here comes the fun part, and like I said, this one here is a little more intricate, but I actually think this one's the more fun one to do. So I'm just going to take my favorite little pencil here, and I have a little thin piece of metal. You can get this from a soda can or whatever, and I'm going to draw almost a box, but it's going to be more rectangle-ish. And as soon as I get this on here, I'll show you what I'm doing. Okay. You can see there, that's 1/2. So now what I got to do is I need to come in here and I need to draw a line here and a line here. I need to draw one down here like this. And now that I've got these here, this part here that's in the middle, that's going to get cut out. This top part here, this top part is going to fold over the needle, and now I can shorten this a little bit. So now what I'm doing is I'm getting the width of the part of the hinge that goes onto the wall. So as you see there, now there's that. So let me erase that other line, because we will have to do another one. Now the good thing about using this thin metal like soda can is you can just use a pair of scissors on it. And what you want to do is you want to cut down your line like that. Cut down your line like that. And the reason why I have the painter's tape on there is it's a lot easier to draw on the painter's tape with a pencil than it is without it. So that's why that's there, if anybody was wondering. So now that I've got that cut out, now I've got to work on that middle piece. And take my scissors, cut right down the pencil line, come over here on this one here, do it. Okay. And now, this is where it can be a little bit tedious, but it's also kind of the fun, can I actually do this part of it. Take that middle piece and you bend it, get it out of your way for a second. So now you see what it's actually going to look like. Okay. Now, take your little nippers here and you can nip that piece off. So now you don't have that piece, it's gone. Take your hobby knife here, and you don't want to leave the tape on here because yeah, it just don't work well. I mean, I guess you could if you really wanted to and was didn't want to mess with it, but for me, I think it actually creates more of an issue. Now you take your needle, and we're going to do just like we did before. But before I do that, I am going to put take these here, and you don't want to be right on where that, you want to have a little bit of a gap there where that, because your next piece, your next hinge is going to slide through that little gap there. So what you want to do is you want to put a little bit of a bend right about there like that. Okay, and your needle is going to go in that. If I can get a hold of it, there we go. Wow, I picked that up pretty easy. That's sweet. And you're basically going to do the same thing with this. You're just going to bend that over and bend this over. Okay, and then you're going to crimp it down. Crimp this side. Crimp, well, maybe. Crimp this side. Crimp that side. Yeah, we'll use the needle nose. They work better. Okay, there's that one. As you can see, it can, as I said, be a little tedious. But we got the bottom one, I think, pretty much done. It's this top one that's causing the problems. But once we get this crimped down, that won't happen anymore. And to be honest with you, you guys don't have, these things don't have to be absolutely spot on perfect. If you really want, you know, that, you know, really super awesome one, I would just suggest buying some, because you can buy photo etched ones all over the place if you really wanted to. But why, this is here and this is free. Now you have a hinge, a half a hinge. So now what we're going to do is we're going to come back over here again. Draw out another little almost square, more rectangle-ish again. And instead of cutting out that middle piece like we did on the last one, we're going to cut out the side pieces. So that piece that's in the middle can slide through that groove, okay, and wrap around your needle. So it's going to look something similar to that, like a T. So, cut this out, and we'll cut this line. Boom. That fly is annoying. He's been bugging me all day. So now we're going to cut, and this part here is actually the part that's probably the hardest, is cutting out these little edges here and getting them right. As you can see there. You gotta have somewhat good eyes to do that. I have really thick lines, and with the pencil being shiny, that helps a lot. So I'm cheating, if you want to call it that way, or I'm just making it easier for myself. And then on this side here, you do the same thing. Cut down your pencil line, and you'll have to make sure that this fits in that hole. You may have to make a few adjustments. You know, you may have to take and this T part here that's left, you might need to trim that down just to fit in that little gap here. But that's easy enough to figure out. You just hold it up there, and okay, that's gonna be tight fit. So yeah, we'll give her a go and see. If not, I'll nip a little off the edge. Again, like I said, the real reason you don't want to leave the tape on there is because then when you fold that over, you're going to have that little bit of a gap, and then your hinges are going to hang. And don't ask me how I know about that, because I might not have done that on those over there. But anyway, yeah, this is actually really, it can be a lot of fun and a break from the actual build itself. So now, before we go farther, I want to make sure that that fits in the little gap there. So let's see here. I'm going to trim it down just to be safe. Give her just a little bit more of a nudge. just a trim. And yes, as you can see, I'm actually just barely, I mean, that's maybe like 1/4 of a millimeter I'm trimming off the edge of that. So yeah, as you can see, that's, well, maybe you can see that. Yeah, that's all I did. I took that much off. That's it. Now by rights that should fit in there. So what we're going to want to do is come over here, test it, make sure that it goes through the little hole there, which it is doing perfect. That's what we want. Now I'm going to take another pin, and for me it's just easier to use 2 pins right now, but we're going to do the same thing with this one here. We're going to, if I can find where there they are, take this here, put a little bit of a bend right there. That way there we can start that fold. And now if I can get the needle, there we go. And I'm going to start creasing that over. Now I was able to get that pretty good there with my thumb, so that's good. Now I just need to get that crimped really nice because I want it to be tight, especially on this one here because it's only got that one piece right there. So there we go. We now have that on there. So now all you have to do is take this, flip it over, stick that there, and this is the fun part. Just so you know, guys, this is the real fun part because now you get to stab yourself like 50 times trying to get everything lined up. Maybe. Come on, get in there, get in there, get in there. I see the hole. There we go. I got it in that hole. Okay. Well, I had it in that hole. Oh yeah. Believe it or not, this really is fun though, once you get it. Oh, I see what the problem is. I don't know if you guys can see that well or not, but it's just barely touching. So what I have to do is, if you can see there, that one's kind of bent down a little bit. So I need to twist it up a little bit. I guess when I was crimping it, it moved it. So I need to crimp this again and put a little bit of there we go. Maybe that'll work now. Let's see. Can we get her in there this time? Oh, I think we did. We got her in there. Aw. And there you go, guys. That is a working hinge. And that is what I did. That's how I made these. And the secret ingredient to all of this is, don't get caught by your wives, just be really sneaky, or sewing needles. Because those, as you've seen earlier, you just leave the needle in, snip that off, and that's your hinge pin. So, I don't know about you guys, but to be able to take something that I already have and make something for free instead of paying $10 or $15 on photo etch stuff that, you know, you can make yourself in, what, 15 minutes? Yeah, it's cool. So, as always, guys, thank you for watching my videos. If you like this sort of stuff, please don't be afraid. Drop a like and a comment down below. If you're not already, and I don't know why you wouldn't be, consider subscribing. I mean, it's free. The only thing you have to pay is a notification when I post a new video. And, you know, I mean, it helps the channel grow, right? Then I can do more stuff like this. And down below, in the description box, there's a link to our Discord. Click on it, join it. It's also free, just like subscribing. Come in, hang out with us, talk. More importantly, post pictures of your builds. That way there we can check out your stuff. And believe me, when I say this, we have some absolute badass builders in here. And these guys just, yeah, they're that damn good. So it's worth joining just to come in and look at their stuff. So with that being said, I'm hoping, if I'm reading my email correctly, Wednesday I should have a surprise for everyone. So with that being said, until next video, I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.